Can Wrexham get a fourth promotion on the bounce? Ryan Reynolds is putting his money where his mouth is, alongside McElhenney and other people behind the scenes. They're a club with a lot of history. 42 years away from the Championship, they're back, they're going to be strong, they're going to invest, they're going to get key loan players in. I've got a feeling they're going to be a strong team. Let's talk about Phil Parkinson first. He's the manager. He's been there for all of the promotions. He's done an amazing job. His last Championship job was at Bolton. They had a lot of financial worries and problems off the pitch, and he managed to keep that team up. The jump up to the Championship is quite big. Humphrey Kerr, who has had a pivotal role really in Wrexham, he's definitely been involved a lot behind the scenes, especially in the documentary, said that they've gone from being a big fish in a small pond to being a small fish in a massive pond financially, basically. They've got to increase their wage budget by 20 or 30 times as much if they want to compete with the likes of Ipswich, Leicester, Southampton at the top of the Championship. They've been run sustainably. Apparently all of their income and spending has all been from the documentary Welcome to Wrexham. Obviously having Ryan Reynolds involved in that means that they'll probably be getting more income. They have just invested all of that Welcome to Wrexham money straight into the club, hence why the fact that they've got players like James McLean on the books on high wages, Jay Rodriguez. How do they play, you may be asking? They play quite a direct 3-5-2. The centre-backs are all quite big, bolstery centre-backs. The wingers or the wing-backs like to hug the touchlines. This is quite a normal 3-5-2 really. They'll shuttle up and down the pitch. Depends on which side the ball is, they'll be attacking. The centre-back might connect into a right-back position a little bit. The three centre-mids, one in the middle, normally Dobson, quite defensive, anchoring. The other two, which is normally Rathbone, and a combination of Matty James or Elliot Lee, who like to get forward a little bit. And then up from, there's usually a link man and a poacher. Since January, it's been Sam Smith and it's been Jay Rodriguez. Rodriguez being a bit more of a link man, whereas Sam Smith has just been a poacher. It's a really, really good fluid system what they've got going there. They like to improve year on year, so don't be surprised if a lot of signings come through the door. Some of the players that they've already been rumoured with, and I'm laughing because it's just ridiculous. Tom Kearney on about 50k a week, alongside Danny Ings and Aaron Cresswell coming in on frees from West Ham. We'll have to see where that goes, because although they've got money to be chucking at wages, the past proves that just chucking it at old players who might be past their best isn't necessarily the best strategy. So the players on this squad chart that are in orange are the ones which I feel like there might be a bit of a question as to whether they should or could be mainstays in a Championship campaign. And then the players in yellow are ones I feel like are fairly reliable, probably going to play over 30 games next season as long as they don't get injured. Obviously a lot of things can change. Championship football can bring the best and the worst out of certain players. It can also bring the best and worst out of managers. You know, 10 games into the season, half of these players might not even be in contention because of the signings made. But I'm just going to stick to 4 signings. I'm going to say a centre-back, a right wing-back, a centre-mid, and also striker, because the Welcome to Wrexham project, what would it be without a star striker signing? So the first position, which I'm going for, is centre-back, as I say. The 2 players that I've gone for is Harry Darling and Cameron Burgess. Harry Darling is available on a free after Swansea released him, or he didn't want to stay at Swansea. He's a ball-playing progressive centre-back who can play anywhere along the back 3. He could also potentially deputise at right wing-back if we really need him to, but he's better at centre-back. He made his way up through the divisions just like Wrexham. He's still 25-ish. I feel like if they're offering the right wages, he'd be tempted to join. Then Cameron Burgess, his contract is still set to be renewed at Ipswich. Obviously after the Premier League campaign, they've got a lot of players in that position. He's left-footed, which suits that left centre-back role really well. And Lewis Brunt, I'm just not sure. He's a Wrexham player who's quite up to it. He's had 2 promotions in 2 seasons, just like Wrexham. One was at Mansfield, one of them was at Wrexham, but is it too soon for him? It could be. Right wing back, Ryan Longman has been playing there for the second half of the season, the signing from Hull, mainly known as a left winger in the Championship, so it was a bit of a shock to me when they started playing him at right wing back. Playing attacking football, you can afford to have a winger at wing back, but in the Championship he's never really been great. So the 2 options I've got is Dijksteel, signing on a free from Middlesbrough. A bit more of a sturdy defensive option. He can play at right centre-back as well if they need him to. He's got a lot of Championship experience. I feel like it's a signing that Phil Parkinson quite like, especially with his more defensive, back-off style of football away from home. Could make sense. Then Kane Kesler-Hayden is another player that I feel like they could sign. He's on the opposite end of the spectrum to Dijksteel. He's very attacking. He spent last season on loan at Preston North End with Paul Heckingbottom as manager. And he's very attacking, he's good on the ball, he's physical. I feel like Ryan Longman to Kesler-Hayden would be a brilliant upgrade. At centre mid, Matty James is 33, Elliot Lee is 30, so is Evans. I feel like there's a bit of a space there for a younger, more dynamic midfielder, or maybe somebody who has a bit more stardom about them. So the 2 players I've got, Tom Kearney, who contradicted exactly what I've just said, and Lewis O'Brien. Starting with Kearney, the links make a lot of good sense because he started a few games this season in the Premier League with Fulham. He's got a great left foot. I I feel like he's still got another promotion in him from the Championship, and he's a name to be shouted about. On the other side, we've got Lewis O'Brien. He's about 26, 27. Forest have let him rot in their reserves for like 2 seasons now. He spent last season out on loan at MLS at one point, and then he spent the second half of the season this year on loan at Swansea. He played 19 games. His FOTMOB rating was over 7.0. He's still got a really big part to play in his Championship team, I believe. I feel like Wrexham would be an absolute coup for the club. I feel like he's better than that, but again, wages on the table, regular football in the Championship, could be a very, very good left centre mid signing. And as I say, up front, I feel like there's a signing to be made there. Jay Rodriguez, he's maybe got one more Championship season left in him. He's quite old. He's a good link man. He's got experience. He'll do the job. Sam Smith has had a couple of really, really good seasons in League One, but he's never been that good in the Championship. I do think he'll make the step up. A lot of good things have been said about him, and from what I've seen, he's an amazing goal scorer. But who else have they really got ready for the step up? Jack Marriott's injury prone, and there's not really anybody behind that. Paul Mullin. So the 2 players I've got is Danny Ings and I've got Callum Robinson. Ings is one of them. He's been linked. Again, it's a big name. He's had 3 seasons now at West Ham where he's been quite poor. The season before that, he got 7 goals and 6 assists with Aston Villa. So he's got it in him. He's shown in the 2020s to be a good player at the top end of football. I feel like he could have another season in the Championship and do really well. If he's got service, he knows how to finish. Billy Sharp was scoring goals in the Championship at like 36. Danny Ings isn't that old yet. There's a chance that it could work. Callum Robinson is the other option I've got. He's a good link man up front. He was Cardiff's top striker on like 12 goals last season. They finished bottom of the table, but whenever he played, he seemed to make things happen. In the front two, he played there, most notably in the Premier League with Sheffield United for half the season. Up front with the likes of David McGoldrick, Billy Sharp, Ollie McBurney. There's a player in there, especially at Championship level, who can help a team push up the table. Yeah, there we have it. The main signings that I think Wrexham could make. Absolutely groundbreaking progress in the past 3 seasons with 3 promotions in a row. Phil Parkinson is a manager who isn't in the limelight. He's let Reynolds and McElhenney take the limelight. Is it time for them to get some players who can take the limelight, push them to the top end of the Championship, get Wrexham to the Premier League eventually? We'll have to see on that. But let me know down in the comments, how do you think Wrexham will do this season? And what player do you think they should be signing? Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.